Stereotypes exist for a reason. Before I joined the Marine Corps, I'd always hear and see the memes of, Marines, airmen, soldiers, sailors falling into the trap of the used car salesman outside the main gate, buying a used Mustang or Camaro for 15, 20% APR for 5 to 7 years. And I thought those were all funny. And then I joined the Marine Corps and realized that those stereotypes are true. And I wasn't shocked by the car loans and how frequently that was happening. What shocked me was the financial illiteracy across the military. Nobody sits down with these junior enlisted and junior officers and teaches them anything about their finances, pay, budgeting, credit, TSP, investing, and building real wealth and making use of the money that they're receiving every 2 weeks. And that's what shocked me the most and why I set up this channel. Because understanding your money, budgeting, investing, credit, pay, and where it's going, that's not optional. That's something you have to learn and get down to the basics and build a strong foundation so you can actually, over time, build long-term wealth. As service members, we frankly have more financial opportunities than most Americans do that don't join the military. We open ourselves up to so many different avenues and opportunities, and not only ourselves, but our families and veterans as well. And frankly, the lack of awareness is the only thing standing in the way from all of us building long-term wealth and building a rich life for ourselves that we all deserve. And that's exactly why I started this channel. Help one service member, a family member, or a veteran understand their money and how to deploy it and use it and help them get on the track to building long-term wealth, then this was absolutely worth it for me. And that's exactly what I want to give back to not only the institution that gave me so much, but all the Marines and sailors and different service members I served with. I owe it to you all and to all of them that I served with to give back and share my knowledge and help you all use your money and deploy it well and build a life for yourself that you love and are happy with. So here's what I'm asking. The mission is simple. If my videos and my content help you, please share it with your unit. Please share it with a battle buddy, any new officers or enlisted joining the service, veterans, family members. It's going to span that spectrum. And that's how we give back to the community and help spread this message. So all of my content is free. It's going to be on YouTube and TikTok. Please share it, spread it. Please subscribe. It helps me just ensure that I'm staying in the fight and I understand that people want to see this content. Please comment ideas in topics that you want to cover. If you have questions about different finances and different topics, please comment. That helps me understand where you all see the gaps and where I can fill them in. So the background on me, I commissioned into the Marine Corps as a second lieutenant in 2020 during COVID. And that was after I graduated from San Diego State. I had come from a pretty large military family. My one grandfather retired as a 2-star general in the Marine Corps. He was the commanding general of McAgsey 29 Palms and Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego back in the day. My other grandfather was a retired 3-star admiral. He was the commander of the 6th Fleet and deputy commander of the Pacific Fleet back in the day as well. My father retired as a captain in the Navy. He flew F-14 Tomcats for his whole career, and my brother is still active in the Navy, flying 60s. So I always knew the military was the path I wanted to go down, and I chose the Marine Corps because I wanted the most difficult branch. I wanted to be around people that were predisposed to violence and wanting to challenge themselves every single day. Not saying any of the other branches don't do that, but the Marine Corps, that's the draw. I wanted to lead Marines. I wanted to lead 18, 19-year-olds that could have gone to any other branch but chose the Marine Corps because they wanted the most difficult path. And those were the best people, some of the best people I'd ever met in my life were those Marines I was fortunate enough to lead and work with. After I commissioned, I was fortunate enough, because I was waiting for my follow-on schools to have seats open up, I was able to go through the martial arts instructor course and become a what we call an MAI in the Marine Corps, which is somewhat rare for a non-Mustang officer. And I did that aboard MCRD San Diego. And the best part was I was working and learning from staff sergeants and gunnery sergeants from pretty much day one. I was a brand new second lieutenant, and I was able to get mentorship from them and spend a lot of time with them and understand the relationship between officer and enlisted and what my role is. And they were great mentors of mine, great friends of mine. I got to serve with a few of them when I actually hit the fleet later on. And those were some very formative times early on in my Marine Corps career, and I'm very thankful for those times. So during my time on MCRD San Diego, while I was in the dojo, spending all this time rolling and teaching martial arts with these staff sergeants and gunnery sergeants, it became prevalent right then and there, just the lack of financial foundation some of these folks had. And, they were 6, 8, 10, 12 years down the line, and they had questions, just even the basic understanding of what's an ETF, what's a mutual fund, should I trade crypto, should I pick individual stocks. I was lucky enough that they trusted me and wanted to learn because I had an interest in this realm, and I've constantly wanted to be financially literate and financially stable. So I was able to start building curriculum, start teaching them and working with them during this time, and it really benefited them. And that was something that I really enjoyed doing, and there was a clear need for it that nobody had given them the knowledge prior to. So after my stint on MCRD San Diego, I went to my follow-on schoolhouses for the next year or so, and eventually I became a communication strategy and operations officer, and was truly blessed to be coming back to Southern California. I checked into the fleet at 1st Marine Division, the Blue Diamond, and it's exactly where I wanted to be. I wanted to be at a ground combat element, and with the history and lineage and the caliber of Marine that comes through the Blue Diamond, it was truly a privilege. I had the best Marines and sailors to work with that I could have ever asked for or imagined. During this time, again, because I just hit the fleet, I'm a new officer, I'm learning all these things about my Marines and again, prevalency of the financial illiteracy. Nobody had just taught these Marines and sailors how to budget, how to manage their money, how to invest, what their pay means, and things like that. So eventually, after a few years at the Blue Diamond, I was unfortunately medically retired. I had a massive L5-S1 herniated disc that I'd suffered a few years prior that never recovered. I avoided back surgery because I wanted to retain as much of the disc as I could, and I'm stubborn. I believed I could get it back to a healthy place where I could go on and deploy. And unfortunately, time ran out. The Marine Corps needs you to be deployable, and I wasn't. And I'd still be in the Marine Corps today if it was up to me, but I was medically retired in 2024 with a L5-S1 herniated disc and a torn hip labrum that I had to get surgery for later on. I had to figure out what I was going to do next and navigate the VA system by myself and self-teach all of that and understand the behemoth and legality of the VA, work on disability, get my emergency fund up in case I couldn't find a job. And frankly, I had to pivot pretty quickly. So I ended up taking a sales role at a data security company. It was a huge change of pace. I wasn't in charge of anyone, and it was a complete 180 from the Marine Corps. And that was a tough adjustment. And I did that for about 2 years, and then I jumped to a better, bigger tech company here in San Diego. Was really happy with the mission, what I was doing, and within 10 weeks, I was caught in the first restructuring they've ever done and was unfortunately laid off. And that's where I came to the crossroad in my life. It wasn't the hardest thing that I've ever dealt with. Leaving the Marine Corps was by far the hardest thing I had to do, leaving the Marines. And I didn't go to a coffee shop or a ayahuasca trip to go find myself. The next day I started making phone calls and going to the whiteboard of what I wanted to do next. And what I always came back to was the Marine Corps, the Marines, and what I'm interested in, which is finance, investing, setting people up and sharing knowledge to allow others who don't have that knowledge to really set them up for success. We get so much opportunity as veterans, active duty, even family members, and sharing that knowledge, which isn't widely shared, is exactly why I started this channel. I want to give back to all of you. So here's the problem. The military is great at training you for your job, training you for high stress situations, and it's not great at teaching you financial foundation. And frankly, it's not its job. That's on the individual leaders at your unit, but that's exactly, again, why I set up this channel. So what happens? There's predatory car salesmen outside every main gate at every installation across the US. There's insurance reps trying to get in the E1's pocket to sell them insurance they don't need. I've seen officers and staff NCOs alike with 18, 20 years of time in service getting out with less money in their TSP than some late teen, early 20-year-olds that have a simple understanding of investing. And let alone, these service members probably don't even know what the difference between a Roth and traditional is because nobody teaches them. And none of this is the service member's fault. It's not because they're stupid or anything like that. It's the gap. Not stupidity, just knowledge that was never delivered. Every time I see a service member get burned by a car salesman, a financial advisor, or a family member, it frustrates me. And that's exactly why I'm pushing out content. It's time to spread this knowledge across the military because, again, there's so much opportunity that we all have to build wealth and come out of lower middle class, poverty, middle class. It doesn't matter. You have the opportunity there. So that's what the military money brief is. It's not recycled, generic financial advice. Yay. TSP, transitioning, 401k, how to use your clearance, what different tax benefits and tax breaks you can get. It's all of that specific for the military community. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a guy who has been studying this stuff for over a decade because it's of genuine interest to me and it's something I want to help others with. I'm not here to sell you a course. I want to make you and your family set up for success financially. And I'm also somebody who lived it. I'm living it currently. I'm in a mid-career transition, still trying to figure it out and to give back, work with you all, and stay connected and share some knowledge and hopefully help build real wealth. You shouldn't have to stay up at night worrying about this stuff. I'm giving you hard topics and hard knowledge delivered in an easy, digestible way. If you're active duty, transitioning, already a veteran, or a family member, this channel is for you. My first video covers just a basic understanding of the military paycheck. This is great for service members just entering the service, or maybe you're still confused on different portions of what that paycheck you receive every 2 weeks looks like. So please go ahead and check that out. Like I mentioned earlier, if you could subscribe, it helps push this channel out to a broader community. We want to reach everyone across the military and veteran communities. Please comment. I would love to hear comments. I'll always reply. I want to hear what you suggest covering, what's helped you, your specific financial questions and maybe situations, the environment you're operating within. This just helps me build more content. I want to help you. I want to get this all answered. And if you can like this video, I would appreciate it as well. Really looking forward to working with all of you and building the military money brief to something great that we can spread across a large spectrum of this community. Thanks, everyone.